Hello everyone, my name is Ben Coyle. Today, me and my crew that you see here, actually it's not really my crew, it's our crew here at RAB. Colleen and Bob don't report to me, but we actually have a great topic for you today, and we actually have another individual that you see here on the screen. We're going to be talking to you today about how to use a garage and canopy fixture. Hey Bob, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Bob Henderson. Welcome everyone. Just want to let you have a little update. So later on in the week, we're going to be in the mid 80s. So we are in Raleigh, North Carolina. So here we are, and thanks for tuning in today. Jason, tell us who you are.
I'm Jason Jeanette. I'm the Director of Lighting at KC Electric Sales. We're the RAB rep in Illinois, Kansas, Missouri, and Iowa, Nebraska. Thank you. Colleen?
I am Colleen McLaughlin. I am the marketing manager here at RAB, working alongside Bob and Ben. I handle Q&A during these presentations, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to type it into the question box on the right-hand panel of your screen. It is also week 2 of our 5-week Amazon e-gift card, $100, go shopping, have a good time. Today's code word, in order to qualify to enter into that contest, is garage. So when you get your follow-up email from us, when you do the survey, use code word garage. That will be one entry into the October giveaway. Make sure you use that code word and make sure you use the correct email address. There's been a lot of entries lately where your email's a little different. I can tell with your names or your company name, a little bit off. So if your email is not correct and you win and I can't contact you, I got to move on to the next. So make sure your email is correct and make sure you use the code word.
Excellent, thank you. So if you have been attending some of our webinars over the past year and a half or so, you'll notice that we did how to use a wall pack, how to use a floodlight, how to use a panel and troffer. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to be talking about how to use a garage and canopy fixture. We're going to follow the same pattern that we've done many times before. We're going to teach you a little bit about lighting from a canopy and a garage standpoint. We're going to talk to you about our products, and we're going to give you an example or 2 or 3 of how you could potentially use these products in the real world. So when we actually look at the IES, the Illuminating Engineering Society, and we look at garages and canopies, there are a couple things that we can focus on. Really, when it comes down to it's what's the average light level from horizontal, from a vertical standpoint. Also, what are your contrast ratios between like the average to min or max to min. But what I really wanted to focus on right now were these pieces right here, which help you go through the ready reference guide. So the IES actually has an app that you can download for free and put it on your phone or put it on your tablet, where you can actually find out a variety of things about garages and also canopies, most specifically what light level you should have. Now you actually go through a number of screens to get there, and I've actually shown you all the different screens to get down to the end, but to be able to find yourself into the correct spot, you have to ask yourself a couple questions, and my next set of slides actually help bring us to our minds what decisions you're going to have to make as you go down and you're trying to find what that light level is. So the first thing for a parking garage is they're going to ask you what the activity level is. What that means is we see over here on the left, active, meaning a lot of people, there's cars in the garage, people are using the garage, and then when it's inactive. Now, as I've gone through the Illuminating Engineering documents, the documents have assumed that you're going to use lighting controls in a parking garage. So when it's active, you want the light level to be higher. When it's inactive, you want to do something inside the space to bring the light level down because you don't need that high light level. Another thing that's really super important also is what is the ambient light level in relation to what is going on outside? Is it daytime? Is there daylight coming through the windows? That's going to greatly affect what light level you should have during the daytime and the nighttime. And specifically, when we go in a parking garage and you look at different tasks, we have the vehicle entrance on the left, the elevator in the very center, and just your general area on the right. They're going to ask you that because you're going to have different requirements, different light level requirements, and also contrast ratios for these 3 different spaces. I want to focus a little bit on a vehicle entrance because a vehicle entrance is actually very similar to lighting a tunnel, and there's an art to lighting a tunnel. Meaning, if you have a parking structure like a parking garage and it's bright outside, as you make that transition from outside the garage to inside the garage, you're making a transition from a bright space to a dark space, especially if you're going underground. So during the daytime, you want that entrance, the vehicle entrance, to be high to help make the transition as you go from the bright outside to the dark interior. Same thing you do for a tunnel. Now, conversely, when it is dark outside, you don't want a bright entrance, right? If it's dark outside and it's dark inside the parking garage, having that bright entrance can actually cause a slight disorientation, adaptation inside the eye. So you actually, during the nighttime, want your entrance level to be a lower light level, actually exactly what you do inside of a tunnel. If it's dark outside and it's dark inside the tunnel, you don't want a bright entrance, you want to tone that bright entrance down. So again, going back to what the IES is talking about is putting controls on a parking garage. Now flipping over to a canopy. So a canopy, what we're talking there is something like, let's say you have a building, a retail establishment of some sort. You have a little canopy that goes out the back side of the building where somebody's going to take the trash and put the trash on the dumpster. That's activity is going to be fairly low. Not many people are going to be going in and out of the back entrance. Or you might have something like a medium activity level. Let's say the canopy that's going into an office building where you're going to get some activity during normal business hours, but once people go home for the evening, the activity level is going to be fairly low. Or maybe you'll have something that's high, and high not necessarily in a bunch of people at one time, but maybe a lot of people over the 24-hour period. Let's say the entrance to an emergency room where the activity level is going to be constant throughout that whole entire 24-hour period. So when you're looking at the canopy, is the activity low, is the activity medium, or is the activity high? And the light level that you're going to need underneath that canopy is going to be dictated by the activity level. The last piece of the puzzle from a canopy standpoint, they want to know what kind of lighting zone. So we see here LZ0 through LZ4. So the LZ, the lighting zone 0, that's your national parks, places where you're trying to really preserve the night sky and have very limited light pollution. LZ1 is your more rural country type application. LZ2 is like where I live. I live in a town here in Massachusetts. I don't live in a city. So that would be lighting zone 2. Lighting zone 3 is a more urban environment, like your downtown city light levels. And then the LZ4, which is like Times Square, the Strip in Las Vegas, that type of a space, which is a specialized place within an urban environment. And the light level that you need in each one of those spaces will be different based upon that lighting zone. And we can see here a range, daytime, nighttime, inactive, active. If you really want to, you can pull out your phone and take a picture of this, but all this information I just pulled directly from the Ready reference guide. So it's sitting right there. So helping you understand how what light levels you should have, let's move on to the actual product portion. I'm going to cover garages and Bob's going to cover canopies. So when we take our garage fixtures, the two that I want to feature right now happens to be our Porto, which fit in our professional grade bucket. And then we have our Ive Park, which is our affordable architectural. So the Ive Park, I really like the Ive Park. It has a lot of great features to this product. The three things on this slide that I want to draw your attention to are the little three icons over on the right. There's actually 480 volt versions of this, 100,000 hour, 5-year full warranty, which includes labor. 3 different light outputs. Think of it as a low, medium, and high light output, 2 different colors, 3 CCTs, and emergency battery backup if you need that. Kind of standard options from a garage fixture type. The next I have is the distribution, and this is where we're getting into a little bit more of the power of the Ive lot. On the left, we have 2 different distributions with only the light going down, and on the right, you can actually see the little perforated things on the Ive lot, which actually allows the Ive Park, which allows some of the light to go up. Now we have the wide distribution, so those are for shorter ceilings, and then we have the concentrated, so if you actually want to take that light and raise it up a little bit farther away, it's taking the light and pushing it farther down into the space for higher ceilings. Now, those 4 distributions really come into play when we're talking about these different mounting options over here on the right. We have surface mount, you can pole mount, you can wall mount it, and you could have a trunnion. What that allows you to do is not only put the Ive Park in the place where above where the garage, or sorry, where the car is actually parked inside the garage, you can actually use these mounting options to mount the fixtures where the human beings are walking. Let's say outside on the sidewalks outside, or let's say the top canopy of the garage, the top floor, where you might put a couple poles. Now, one of the limitations that you have here with the Ive Park is you have that highest wattage, which is 7,500 lumens. If you need something higher than that, I would suggest, if you want to have the same look, go over to the Ive lot. I think I've accidentally said that a few times. We do have an area light that you could potentially put on a much taller pole and have a very similar look: perimeter, inside, top, outside, around, and get that good unified look throughout the whole entire space. Watt stopper, the WS is for like a 10-foot, 12-foot ceiling. The WS2 is when you're going above that 12 foot up to 20 foot, and you can have a light cloud controller. Here we have an example of the Ive Park not being used, or sorry, being used as a canopy type fixture, which is actually kind of crossing over into the Bob's territory. So these 3 canopies that were used in an office park, they used 20 Ive Parks, so the wide distribution, the lowest light output version, the 4000K version mounted at 17 feet with a Watt Stopper 2, which, or the WS2, which has the ability to mount up to 20 feet. They got 2.5-foot candles, which is plenty of light. Actually, it's overlit for a canopy, with a 2-to-1 average to min. So nice, good uniformity that our lighting design group was able to provide for this customer. The second product that I have is the PORTO. The PORTO is a garage fixture that is really just for a garage fixture. So this is where the cars go. You might use this on a loading dock, but still, again, you're going to have a vehicle there. So this is a really great vehicle type fixture. You're not going to be putting this on the edge of a building, on the outside of a building, or on the top floor. The PORTO, the power here is, we're talking 3 wattages in the smaller package size, which is 12 inches on per side, and then the PORTO XL, which is 16 inches on each side. So we have there 3,800 lumens, which is very similar to the light output of the lowest Ive Park. But then we have that 105 PORTO XL at 12,000 lumens. So with this, you have the sensor or no sensor, depending upon the version that you want. And also this guy right out of the box all the time gives you at least 20% uplight, eliminates that cave effect that you can sometimes see when you have those cement coffers inside of the parking structure, so that you don't have that dark ceiling up above. So with that, I'm actually going to flip it over to Bob, and he's going to build upon this family of products and start talking to you guys about the canopy.
Okay, Ben, thanks a lot. So let's move into canopies just for a second here and take a look here. And so as soon as this switches over, I will be able to move forward. And our first presentation here, where our slide is, these are professional grades. So this is the middle grade. So if you think of this as good, better, best, professional, the 3 products I want to talk about is the band led one, the band led, and the Macy. So going forward here, so first of all, we're going to do the Macy. So you see this is this gas canopy, right? And you see it from 52 watts all the way up to 200 watts. And very common would be some of the lower wattages. Sometimes you need higher loud output, but this is a DLC as well as a DLC premium, depending on the particular product, IP66, which means it does have some pressurized water. It's available with a light cloud. Optional is dimming as well. And this voltage, it's universal voltage, as well as available in 480. And the one thing I want to talk about is the 100,000 hours. So that's a long life L70 featured with this product with our 5-year full warranty. Now, this is an easy target. You remember, I'm sure many, and they're still out there today. So the LSI Scottsdale fixtures, many of these, it's just really an easy target to focus in on. So with the Macy, it's a two-man operation. You have your canopies with top access, and you just put those two together, and they go in very well together. So this is a good example of a gas station canopy. So you'll see this is the 100 watt. So it's the third highest wattage going from bottom to top. And you'll see this is a typical application, typical layout. So that in this case, 24 were used, 16-foot mounting, and you have 52 foot candles. So some of you may say, well, 52 foot candles today seems like a lot of lighting for gas canopies. Well, you know, for the areas where you don't have an ordinance, many people buy lighting for other than how much light do I need to pump gas? And so it involves safety and security, protection, and so forth. But let's just say that this was 52 foot candles, but you do have a choice. So if you went down to the 80 watt version, then you'd have about 41 foot candles, same layout. And then if you went down to the 52 watt version of the Macy, then you'd have 23 foot candles. So there's a range that's very versatile to be able to give you what it is that you need. Now, here's the next product is the Van 1 LED, the canopy light. I love this little product. I was involved a little bit when we had the introduction of this product because it came out as a standard lens and we switched it to frosted. 30% frosting gives you that protection as far as glare and so forth. And it's available in a 6 watt as well as a 12 watt version, and 45 degrees C 24/7, which is 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's DLC. And that's the other thing about it is when we switched the lens, we were still able to earn that DLC rating. It's wet rating and from the bottom up, and then it's CRI of 80 and Triac ELV. This is a 120 volt little fixture that you'd use 50,000 hours with a full 5-year warranty. It's also available in the 3 color temperatures, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000. Now take a look at this. So the height from the old version to the new version was cut in half. So a little over 4 to a little over 2. So that's a really nice project to be able to work into on this project, because this is the Harlem River Preservation Project. So not a lot of fixtures, but it's really important to be able to learn how to apply this. So 44 high pressure sodium fixtures were replaced 1 for 1 with the Van 1 LED. Now, one of the things that they wanted, you'll notice that sign, the address sign, and you see with these fixtures, these old fixtures, the light is actually coming through to illuminate what the address is. So this is one of the requirements that they had. So by going to this fixture, you are still able to preserve and get that light, that diffuse light, glare, very low glare free light, but be able to illuminate through that sign for this application. And then last, we're going to cover the Van LED. So the Van LED is one of our go-to products. It's DLC as well as DLC Premium, some of the same ratings that occur that we had before, really. And so let's take a look at the wattages. 10 watts all the way up through 75 watts. And I think our most popular wattages on the Van LED is going to be the 20, the 40, and the 52. Those are really the big hitters in this particular product line. You notice this product is very comfortable in this picture. It's low glare. It does a good job of vertical as well as horizontal illumination. Here's the replacement. Again, going from 11 inches plus to 4 inches in depth, about the same replacement. And now let's look at the drop lens option. And it comes in standard as well as frosted. If you want just a little bit of more brightness with a vertical, you can get that with a drop lens, or you can go to the flat lens. My favorite product is the flat lens frosted. Just does a wonderful job. And that's available flat lens as well as standard, as well as the frosted lens. And then there's also this retrofit plate for, this is a ATM here, where it makes it the conversion of the going from the old HID to this product really a snap and make it very, very easy. So with that, I'm going to ask Jason to come in. And Jason is a lighting designer that's joining us. Jason, welcome again. You've already introduced yourself, so take it away, please.
Hey, thank you, Bob. I'm going to talk about a project we have here in Chicago at Guaranteed Rate Field, or formerly known as Comiskey Park, where we had a request to replace the existing metal halide fixtures in their pedestrian ramps leading up to the stands. After a bunch of calculations, we went with the VanLed 52F, 56 watts, 6600 lumens, and the flat frosted lens version. And this is what it looked like afterwards. We had a lot of success with it. We had good, the state agency that owns the stadium was very happy with it. And we originally got into this project through our relationship with an ASCO here, and that has since basically blossomed into a whole bunch of other projects at the stadium. So we did the pedestrian ramps. It led towards about 158 LED fixtures in the parking lots. Then that went on to some fixtures for the offices on the inside of some easy pans. And then finally to some floodlights on some of the billboards inside the stadium. So now when you watch a White Sox game, home game on TV, you can see some of the billboards are lit up by RAB fixtures. And so please do watch the home game soon when the White Sox beat the Astros. Yay. Here's some calculations that we did for that. We took a little bit of time to actually model the ramps in AGI, but it turned out well, and we ended up with average foot candles slightly over the recommendations. The IES recommends about 4 foot candles average, so a couple spots that were lower than that, but most of them were above that, and then our average to min ratio ranged from 1.1 to 2.6. So we beat the standards there. And back to Bob, I believe.
All right, so thank you, Jason, for that that review of that project. That was an exciting project, I'm sure, and that walkway into the stadium is really miraculous, how even that was, and so that flat lens drop lens just really did a great job. So let's review the learning objectives that Ben went over. So first of all, learn lighting concepts that apply to garages and canopy. Ben taught us well on that. And then next, we talked about and introduced the products that can do the job. We've been talking about that, as well as Jason shared with us his particular project of the White Sox Stadium. So with that, next week, we're going to have a light cloud for small spaces. We have a product called the Hub, so please come in and join us for that. And so thank you for attending today. And so